My name is Carol Flavin and I am a railway modeller.
Hello, my name is Carol Flavin. Some of you may know me because I have become known for making scenery on model railway layouts. Now, my layout is a large one. It's at my home. I made it all the way through lockdown and it was started before lockdown with my grandchildren. It's made for and with them, and they have had a lot of input. So there's plenty of track, there's plenty of trains, there's lots and lots for kids to do on it. But I do like the scenery side of it. And there was a little area that I rather fancied having a go at and making something that I would really enjoy. It's above a village on a little plateau. Between this plateau area and the village, there is a train track. And there is a bridge that goes across this track, and it's a humpback bridge and it's a footbridge. Behind this little plateau, there is a river that leads down from a very large mountain range, which I've made in the corner of the layout. There's a lake below it with a campsite, and the road that goes through this little hamlet leads from this area across a level crossing and actually off the layout. I wanted to enjoy making this, so there's a river behind it that leads into a harbour, and I had a diorama of a church. Now, this diorama appeared in the Great Model Railway Challenge. It was one of the pre-builds from when I was a team leader. So I wanted somewhere to put it. But I did realise I had plenty of space to add other things. So I wanted to add some village houses and gardens, and I wanted to have people standing around being neighbourly. So this is what I've done, and I'm going to show you what it looks like and talk a little bit about how I made it, and I do hope you enjoy it. I started by laying out some white paper and marking out where I was going to put things, started to lay some grass, and began the process of making some gardens and some areas around the village houses. This is Lanehead House, this is the one I'd like to live in, and this is its garden with a summer house in the back and a nice seat to sit and watch the trains going past and look at the village beyond. I weathered the house by adding growth up the front of it, and I used some of the scale model scenery fencing and some Javis hedging to make it look more realistic. This is 1 and 2 railway cottages. They're workers' cottages, and there are people standing around, chatting, being neighbourly. There's a garden out the back with a rather nice conservatory on it. And then this is a different view from the other side of the same little hamlet. This is the church. Now, this church was made for the Great Model Railway Challenge because the television cameras were coming to my house and they wanted me to be doing something. And I chose to put a funeral scene in it. I made the walls myself out of pieces of cork, which I painted and weathered. I made a little lich gate and generally made the whole thing look realistic, pleasant, and moderately colourful to say there's a funeral going on. And I also added stained glass windows. There's a footbridge which I scratch built from pieces of balsa wood. I used wallpaper to create the stones and I painted them to create the effect, and I added greenery, and it's quite a dramatic little bridge really. The bridge leads across from the hamlet to the village across the railway track. There is a dramatic backdrop to this layout, which is a mountain with the waterfall diorama in it with the crashing waterfalls. These lead down into a lake at the base, which goes on into a river that flows round underneath the railway track, underneath the road, past the hamlet, and in the general direction of a harbour. Strines Harbour is one of my favourite parts of the layout but I am going to be making a separate video of how I made that. I have a bit of a problem with my knees, and that means that I find it quite difficult to do some of the wiring necessary for lighting areas. So I've been using the Just Plug lighting system from Woodland Scenics, and I've put street lights in, and the houses and the church have some of their LED lights inside. I find it easy to use, and I can use it on the surface of the baseboard, which makes it much better for me. I've added a slightly atmospheric look to my layout by giving all of the chimneys smoke. And I do this using teased out either Christmas fleece, patchwork wadding, or even cotton wool stuck in place, and it looks very effective. This is just a quick video shot over the top of the hamlet towards the village, across the track. The village isn't finished, by the way. I laid things in place, but I'm going to be doing a lot more work on that. Then I'm showing you a few shots of the river leading, well, up towards and away from the lake and down towards the harbour. One of the things I really enjoy doing is running a camera train round the layout. This one is forward facing, and it's taking us under the footbridge, past the houses, as far as the signal box. There's the church. We're going round facing towards the hamlet this time, past railway cottages, past Lanehead House and its garden. This time we're facing the other way, and we can see the campsite, the mountains, quite a lot of the track and parts of the village. And this is going completely the opposite direction, towards the mountains. This was an area that I really enjoyed making. My grandson, James, and I would quite like to live in Lanehead House. We think it would be a nice spot. It's got a nice garden, it's got trains running around the back of it, lots of lovely views. But of course that's not really going to happen, but it's quite fun to talk about it. I like doing scenery, and I have done this video to accompany an article that is going to appear in British Railway Modelling, and that explains a little bit more about what I've done and a little bit more about where I got all the products for it as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I do have a YouTube channel, and you can find some of my videos on that, so I hope you enjoy them there, and I'm sure I will speak to you again soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.